obviously the better quarterback. I think history would tell us, even though he struggled in last Super Bowl, that he will have a better game than Jalen Hurts because he's that much better. But if you think Philly's going to win, and the odds obviously do, then you have to pick Hurts. Now, I know you don't have to be a quarterback to win the MVP, but 9 of the last 13, I believe, in the Super Bowl have been quarterbacks MVPs. For them to win, he's going to have to be great, right? He's going to have to throw it. He's got great receivers. He's going to have to connect with them. And the run game, Mike, will be critical because they're going to have to eat up clock. That's one thing they do. Time of possession, keep it out of Mahomes' hands as much as you can. So if they win, and Vegas thinks they will, then I think Jalen would be the MVP.
Yeah. I think you're right, bro. Patrick's going to have to do everything. And not just take away from Kelsey or Juju or Kadarius Toney. It's going to be some guys that's going to step up and make some plays. When the ball gets into 15 hands, magic is going to happen. And whether he's airing it out, whether he's doing it on the ground, he always seems to amaze us. He's going to be the reason that the Kansas City Chiefs win this football game. And I asked Andy a couple weeks ago, who is your MVP? And he was, obviously, it's Patrick. And for rightfully so, 41 touchdown passes this season.
Another 5,000
5,000 yards, rushed for 500. That's almost 6,000 yards of total offense. And so that's what you're going to get in this Super Bowl. You're going to get Patrick delivering on all cylinders.
So here's why I think these odds are wrong. Okay. There is no Super Bowl script, not the script silly Arian Foster thing, but way we could see it going, that involves the Chiefs winning, that is not Patrick Mahomes being the MVP. There are a number of Eagles victory scripts where Jalen Hurts is not the MVP of the game. Hassan Reddick is, way down the list. Could we see this game flipping on a strip sack and him having a Von Miller type performance? Sure. They play keep away like you're talking about. Miles Sanders absolutely could have a massive game. If this game is a shootout, I don't think Philly can win it. I don't think Philly can win a 35-32 game. If they win, I think it's because it is a low-scoring defensive game, in which case you have to open it up to a defensive player making the biggest play. And that part I think everyone agrees with. And now I'm going to say the part that is going to annoy Kevin Wildes.
Okay, here we go.
Even the Eagles fans here don't actually shout out your answer, but the answer is you won't have one. What's your guys' favorite Jalen Hurts playoff?
Oh, see, it's...
Well, no, I'm just curious. We can go back.
He scored 31 points on the 49ers. You're like, well, not really. There's a short field and this and that.
He threw for 120 yards in that game, and they had
31 points.
Okay,
it's
so
not
that
fantasy
was
football.
Okay, so your favorite Jalen Hurts playoff game is a game where he had a 60 quarterback rating.
He's not a quarterback rating.
Okay, no. Well, so I'm just curious because we do now have a growing sample of Jalen at the collegiate and professional level. I'm just telling you where a growing sample of Jalen against the best defenses, not looking like the Jalen that cuts up, inferior defenses.
The 49ers were the best defense.
And he didn't play well.
Yeah.
They scored 31 points and won the game.
I mean, you're playing against the best defense in the NFL. You're not going to go out there and shred them. There's no way you're going to do that. I got so much respect for Jalen's game, this last game, because he didn't turn the ball over. You look at the games. You look at the game against Kansas City and Cincinnati. The turnovers determine the outcome of the game. If you can go against the best defense and protect the football, you're going to come out on the other side.
His numbers aren't going to wow you. But like Mike said, if he doesn't turn the ball over, throws for 223 or something, and then maybe scores a touchdown on the ground, one through the air, he'd likely be the MVP if they win.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Jalen Hurts has a mediocre game and wins the Super Bowl and is the Super Bowl MVP, and he would have gone 17-1 as a starter, I think it's unfair to be like, you know what, not impressed.
Okay, but
I'm with you, Wiles.
No,
I'm with you on that, Wiles.
What's the quarterback rating?
Hold on, wait a second. But there's a lot of kind of buts you threw in there, which is somehow he has a mediocre game, but he's the Super Bowl MVP. I don't see that. I don't see how that plays out. If we are being honest, guys, and no one has even mentioned this part of it, he is the more injured quarterback.
That's true.
That part, can we, like, Mahomes, we saw him at his worst, and as far as throwing the football, didn't affect him at all. He had the one play where he fumbled it and then couldn't jump on it because he couldn't press off the ankle. That was the only time you really saw it, and he didn't scramble. Jalen, since he hurt his throwing shoulder, has not thrown the ball well. That is not an indictment on him. That's just the facts of it. And Jalen, by the way, while Mahomes has said from the very beginning, the day after the divisional round, right? Yeah, he was like, I'm playing in the next round. And then he's always said he was going to play. Jalen keeps being like, guys, I'm hurt. Guys, I'm hurt.
Locked in.
No, I'm not knocking him for it. He's being honest about the fact he has a significant injury to his throwing shoulder. And you know how you can tell? Because he has not thrown the ball well since he suffered it.
Nick, but here's the reason why Jalen, sometimes it don't stand out as him having a spectacular performance. You just said it. He got a run game. He got 3 running backs, premier running backs that can control the pace of the game. He got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And then he got weapons around him. You just dump it to him, throw it to him. It's point guard. It's easy. It's easy work. And so Patrick got to do a little bit more. There is no Tyreek Hill. There is no game breaker. There is no A.J. Brown. And so when you compare and contrast both quarterbacks, one just got to do a little bit more than the other. But Jalen's offense is predicated and centered around him.
Brew, any chance for a Jerry West 1969 situation?
No.
MVP and a losing performance? I'm just curious.
LeBron had that chance, and they didn't give it to him.
NFL. I'm just saying, MVP and a losing performance.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Mike, you sat down with Jalen Hurts. What was out of everything that you guys talked about, was there one thing that you came away most impressed with his game or his mindset?
Just the way he feel about, one, his role in terms of production and what he has to bring to the table. 2, his ultimate goal is to make everybody better around him. And, as we had those conversations, I thought back to my years when I played the quarterback position and how I treated my teammates. And I'm like, damn, I'm looking at this, 23-year-old kid and wishing I could have took something away from the way he went about his developmental process and making everybody better around you. And so I think that's one of the best traits that you can have as a quarterback, is to put everybody else before you, but still work as hard as them behind the scenes and lead by example. And just the leadership, the maturation process, the maturity was amazing.
There's one other thing that we'd be remiss if we didn't say with Vick out here. This is the first Super Bowl ever with 2 black quarterbacks. And there are so many great black quarterbacks, and it's so normal for teams to have black quarterbacks that we haven't really even talked about it much on this show. Mike Vick's one of the founding fathers of black quarterbacking in this league, and is one of the guys that made it okay to play a different style of quarterback and that you can win that way.
Yeah.
And when you think about your legacy, this game with these 2 teams, that's part of your legacy, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
More first things first after the break. Stay with us.